I built a Raspberry Pi kitchen clock a while back because my house came with one of those ancient underkept radio clocks that somehow survived multiple presidential administrations. You know the type. Tiny buttons, terrible speakers, blinking 12 o'clock every time the power so much as flickers for 3 seconds. So I replaced it with this custom Raspberry Pi weather display. And apparently a lot of you decided to build one too, which is great. Except once other people start building your weird little project, you very quickly discover which parts were actually polished and which parts only worked because you already knew all those weird little quirks. So over the last few months, I've basically rebuilt huge parts of this thing. There's a new screen, a redesigned case, better Raspberry Pi support, yes, including Pi 02, touch support, a built-in messaging system, and somehow this dumb little kitchen clock has slowly evolved from thing under my cabinet into something people are now putting all over their houses. But spoiler alert, I think the biggest changes started because the original screen became a problem. The original display looked fantastic for the price. Cheap, ultra wide, bright enough for a kitchen, and perfect for this project. But over time, I started hearing from more and more people whose screens were failing. Some arrived broken, some died early, some had to be returned multiple times. And eventually I hit the point where enough people were emailing me saying, "Hey Josh, I want to build this, but this screen sucks," that I stopped feeling good about recommending that hardware. So I started looking for alternatives, and I found a newer display that was a little more expensive but seemed substantially more reliable. The interesting part was that it also included touchscreen support, which immediately sent me down the dangerous path of, well, if it has touch, I could add this. And that's basically how this stopped being just a weather clock. The big new feature is a built-in household messaging system. From your phone, tablet, computer, well, anything with a browser really, you can now send messages directly to this display. Things like dinner in 10, take the trash out, robotics tonight, or whatever passive-aggressive communication system your household runs on. And because apparently I enjoy creating extra work for myself, the messaging system can now also sync those messages locally between multiple clocks in your house. So if you build one for your kitchen, another for an office, or eventually maybe one for a bedroom, they can all share the same messages without needing cloud accounts, subscriptions, or some company deciding your grocery reminder needs AI integration. You can even send messages to a specific clock. So finally, your kids can message you, "Meatloaf again," directly on the kitchen clock. Sorry, not sorry. And before anyone who already built the original version panics, no, you do not need a touchscreen for this to work. The messaging system still works on the non-touch displays too. Touch mainly adds interaction and navigation. Existing builds can still receive messages, sync with other clock systems, even the touch ones, and participate in the whole system just fine. You'll just see the message appear occasionally until it's cleared. And yes, you can clear the messages from your touch clocks or from your browser. The touchscreen also forced me to completely redesign the 3D printed case, because while the new display is better, the manufacturer also apparently secured parts of the housing with enough hot glue to survive atmospheric re-entry. Technically you can remove it, but I didn't really want the official build instructions to become "carefully attack your electronics with a heat gun and hope for the best." So I designed a completely new case around the updated display. The old case still works if you remove the glue housing, but the new version is designed so people can use the display as is without needing to perform surgery first. The other big improvement is Raspberry Pi support. Originally, I developed this for a Raspberry Pi 4 running Bookworm because, well, that's what I had on hand. But I heard your many requests for Trixie support and cheaper options. And I have to admit, having seen pricings on Raspberry Pi 4 and 5 lately, I get it. I reworked the code to be cleaner, more lightweight, and a lot more stable, which means the Raspberry Pi 02W suddenly makes way more sense now. It's smaller, cheaper, easier to hide, lower power, and while it is a little slower loading the interface, it works surprisingly well. There are also a bunch of smaller quality of life updates that just make daily use better. The weather handling is smarter now, especially around rain and snow detection, for instance. The installer properly supports newer Raspberry Pi OS versions like Trixie, and you can now remove the leading 0 and 12-hour time, which I know bothered some of you. I still have more improvements to come, like better language handling outside of English. And here's the fun news, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep up on this. I'm working on expanding the clock beyond the kitchen. Oh, sure, you can slap this kitchen clock anywhere you want, but I'm currently working on a round version designed more for desks, offices, and side tables instead of under cabinets or on a TV stand. Same weather system, same messaging system, same syncing between displays. So eventually you could have a kitchen display, a desk clock, maybe a bedroom clock, and they all work together, which is either really cool or a sign I've gone way too far with this project. You let me know in the comments. And unlike most smart home displays, this still doesn't require Alexa, Google Assistant, cloud subscriptions, or a company deciding 3 years from now that your kitchen clock should just stop working so you have to buy a new one, which feels increasingly rare these days. If you want to build one yourself, I'll have links below to the updated project files, the new touchscreen display option, the updated 3D printable case, and the new install process. And if you've already built the original version, seriously, thank you. A lot of these improvements only happened because people actually started building these things and giving feedback. All the new features are available for existing builds too. You'll just need to pull the latest version from GitHub, and I'll put the commands you need down in the description. That's it for now, but thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, bye!